Hey guys, it's Nat and today I'm going to finally talk about why I got rid of most of my book collection. So I would say I actually got rid of more than half. So basically at the start of the year I actually wrote down in this app called Evernote how many books I had. So I started off 2020 with 192 books, and throughout the whole year, since being in lockdown and with COVID and everything, and spending most of semester 2 of university at home, I decluttered a lot. So I went from 192 books to 58 books. So that means I got rid of, the total number of books I got rid of this year is 134 books. So I won't go over all the books I unhauled because we would be here for quite a while, but I just kind of wanted to talk about why I decided to finally make this big change, because I read Marie Kondo's book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying, back in 2016, but it's only recently that I decided that physical books and a big book collection no longer brings me joy, because that's what Marie Kondo is about. She's not about oh, I have to have the least amount of items possible in order to be happy. No, she tells you to declutter the parts of your life that don't bring you joy, but keep things that make you happy. And when I read the book back in 2016, books still made me very, very happy. Reading, collecting physical books just was something that brought me joy. So yeah, it's just this year everything started changing and I just realized that the physical books in my life, the big book collection, was just making me more stressful. It was eating up my time during the day, because if you don't know this, books get dusty really quickly. I had to clean my shelves once a day at least, because that's how much dust would collect on it. It was crazy when I think about it. And yeah, I feel one of the reasons why I got rid of so many of the books that I did is because I just no longer felt this connection to the physical books, and I kept looking at them and I'm am I ever gonna reread these books? And it kept just being nope, nope, nope. I barely even looked at my shelves when I was at home doing assignments for my last semester of university ever. I was just out of sight, out of mind. You know, sometimes when you look at something and it just brings you stress because you're oh my god, I have to clean that later. Oh my god, I have so much of this one thing. That was me with books. I don't know why, mentally my outlook on books, especially my book collection, just changed completely. And yeah, that's one of the reasons. That's actually the main reason why I got rid of so many books. So some other reasons why I decided to make this big change are, I just came to the conclusion that I don't want to be the type of reader that collects every book she's ever read, because even back in 2016 when I had this big collection, I still got rid of books I really didn't like, which wasn't often, but now I've been maybe not reading as good books as I used to. But yeah, I've never wanted to be a collector in a way as well. I just always wanted to read books. So I still looking at other people's book collections, but I just feel the type of life that I want to lead in the future, and with moving, if I ever do move in the future, or if I go traveling for extensive periods of time, I don't have to worry about this huge book collection hoarding up a bedroom in my parents' house. So yeah, ever since spending so much more time than before during lockdown in my room, I just noticed that whenever I would look at my book collection, it just made me feel anxious all the time and stressed out. It's probably because of the cleaning thing. I'm a kind of a big clean freak, and just seeing so much dust, and the bookshelf made me feel so stressed out that I sometimes would just avoid it. It was kind of hard because it took up nearly one whole wall of my bedroom, but I would just kind of blank it out, not look at it, or leave my bedroom and just I don't know, avoid it. I don't know what came over me, but just the amount of books I had just made me so stressed out and feel anxious. I think maybe it was kind of making me feel my possessions were taking control over me, because there were more of them. It's kind of a hard feeling to describe, but I don't know, I just felt really anxious. So yeah, I also hated how much much like dust collected on the bookshelf, like I mentioned before. It was just so like annoying having to constantly clean. I remember like on Instagram always asking like, do other people have to clean their bookshelves this much, or do they really get that dusty that quickly? And everyone was like, yep, we don't clean them that often like you do. And yeah, I feel like it was the right decision to just declutter. Like where I am in my reading journey and also my life journey, like I graduated university, I felt like needing to change, but I didn't force the change. The change just naturally kind of presented itself and I just grabbed it, and that's why I decided to declutter. And also like this year my reading has completely changed. Like I can't remember the last physical book I actually read. I've been mostly reading on my iPad, like I mentioned in my previous video. Like, I don't know, it just felt like the natural step. Something I've noticed with decluttering, you can't really force it. Like you can go through all the steps, like in Marie Kondo's book, like you go through clothes first and then books and then like other things, but I feel like don't force yourself to have a certain amount of books or other possessions. Just like let it go naturally. Like I didn't have an end goal with this. I just went through my bookshelves, looked at the books, said, does this spark joy? Do I really want it? Or if I actually forgot I actually owned the book, then I would get rid of it as well. The last reason why I decided to declutter and get rid of so many books is just because physical books no longer brought me joy. Like I understand other people, like when they hear people decluttering books, like how can you do that? Like I can't part with my books, and I was the same. Like literally back in 2017 when I got a Kindle, I'm like, I'm getting this, but I don't think I'm going to use it that much. But of course everything changes. It just depends on you. Like don't force yourself if you want to have less books to declutter books, because you're probably gonna end up regretting getting rid of those books. Whereas for me, I don't regret any book I've ever unhauled. Like I just forget I had them. Like sometimes when I look at my Goodreads, I'm like, oh yeah, I used to have that book, but don't really miss it. I would never like go out and repurchase it unless it's like on my Kindle, because on my Kindle I don't have to unhaul books later on. So yeah, I still love owning some books physically, like my reference books. So those are like non-fiction books, like my astrology books I always go back to, my cookbooks. And yeah, I do love looking at the books I have currently. Like those are the ones that bring me joy. Those are the ones that I think of when I think of like, what kind of reader am I? Like what kind of books or which books represent me as a person? And yeah, looking at the ones I currently have, like those are all the ones that I would say define me as a person. Like I can see my Throne Glass books, I can see my Jane Austen vintage classics collection and my astrology books and like all my fantasies that I still own. Like the ones that I kept, I'm very happy with, and I don't think I'm ever gonna be that person that has like no books in her collection, because I still love looking at books, I still love flicking through books, I still love like the smell of books. And yeah, I'm definitely probably am going to reread some of those books physically. But yeah, just like having a smaller collection, I've noticed that I finally realized what Marie Kondo was talking about when she said when you have a smaller collection, you appreciate the things that you do have in that collection, because I truly do appreciate all the books that are currently on my bookcase. So yeah, I'm really happy that like 2020 was finally the year that I decided to make this huge change in my life. Like my bedroom is just my happy place now. I don't avoid it. So yeah guys, let me know your thoughts on small book collections, as I would love to know your thoughts. And like if you have a small book collection, or if you're always gonna have a big book collection, because there's nothing wrong with that. Just do what makes you happy. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.